Hey guys, welcome back to a new Badass podcast today. We're going to be talking about some competition, some people that are doing AI coaching for businesses. We've looked at quite a lot of them. We are one of them. And I'm just going to start off with the biggest one. I think these guys probably have the biggest clients, if not the biggest market share. They're called Gong. I only heard of them barely 9 months ago, something like that. But they just basically listen to all your calls, listen to all your sales conversations, and you can see as an example what kind of agents they give you. So it can take all this data from your business and do a deal reviewer, right? Or a deal monitor. And it will just try to give you guys insight on your sales team, what you can do better.
So, Dan, challenge for you. I'm going to call you out live on the podcast. So, you've heard me talk a lot about my pain points on why I want to build Leadr. So, why do businesses search out software like this? What pain points are they trying to alleviate?
Their team's inability, I guess, to teach themselves. So training themselves and also stopping deals from slipping through the cracks.
Inability to train themselves? What do you mean? You expecting the humans to do self-training? What kind of company is that, Dan? I'm not coming to work for you.
What kind of companies
Don't you
expect their
provide?
people to train themselves?
Where's my sales manager? Where's my leader? What? You hired me to do sales and I have to be self-taught? What if I don't know much? The way I hire people at the dealership, they don't even come in with sales experience. So what? That has to be self-taught? That's a big burden you're putting on the employee.
Well, it's up to them to learn by either doing sales or getting training outside of what they actually do for work. I mean,
Oh, trained by doing sales. Got you. So they get to practice on the business's leads and prospects for 2 to 3 years while the business hemorrhages a $500,000 to millions of dollars in lost deals, lost opportunities. Is that what you're saying, Dan? That's the business plan?
well, usually I think most people hire people that have experience. They don't hire people that don't have any experience at all.
Oh my gosh. That's not true. Businesses hire people with minimal experience. You look for potential in people. And like a lot of businesses, I'll take mine for example, the position, I don't have the kind of profit margins to pay a seasoned salesperson 6 figures. And it's much better for me to take a good piece of clay, right, and mold it. I don't want to untrain bad habits. A lot of sales styles don't match up well sometimes in other organizations. For example, like the car business. And let's forget about my dealership for a moment, but some are more geared towards where I want to go is just more of a customer service, more of a soft approach. But I'm perfect example. I have to pay dearly to get somebody with car sales experience, but it's not the type of experience I want. I don't want aggressiveness. I don't want hardcore. I don't think people enjoy that experience, especially in the car buying experience. They're used to that being like a pressure cooker. And that's a big reason why people dread going into dealerships. And those guys are straight commission, guys or women, whatever. And it's feast or famine. And they're doing whatever it takes to put food on their table. And they're normally not all, but let's say heavily money motivated, not so much the end experience motivated to actually provide a really good experience and help the customer right through the process and help them to make a good decision. And if they're got this extreme interest of being solely focused on the money, which is not a bad motivation, you want people to be money motivated. I'm not trying to say that. Last thing you want somebody to be in a revenue generating position is, oh, I don't care about the money. Well, that's a strike. But if it's all about the money, it's kind of like extremist, right? You don't want somebody that doesn't care. They're just there for the base pay. But on the same token, if they're straight commission, it normally lends itself to a very aggressive environment, aggressive to the customers, and cutthroat, which is what I wanted to get out of at the dealership. I didn't enjoy managing those type of people. I got a lot of customer complaints, and we just cut ourselves in a stereotypical dealership, aggressive and hostile. Not hostile as in rude, but just way too aggressive. And it's very clear, even from the beginning, that This person has one interest and one interest only. It's to make a commission from a deal and then move on to the next deal. Right. And they would just even be rude to customers, really, because if they saw like maybe they didn't have great credit. I dealt with many complaints. Who's the manager? I don't want to deal with this person. In fact, I'm leaving your dealership, but let me just give you some feedback. This person was very rude. It's obvious they didn't want to work with us. And people already know, sorry, but we're humans and we do have bias. We do have judgment. But the problem with, even let's take outside the car business, right? When you start to become hardened by time bandits or people, time bandits is a term for people wasting your time. You really start to pre-qualify people hard. And you got to be really careful with that radar, because you, as the old saying goes, right, you can't judge a book by a cover. And many good people that are good negotiators they show up in their worst vehicle they don't want to appear that they have money. But then you got the other people, right, that are all flash. They're making $1,000 a month car payment on their Bentley. They're past due on their mortgage. They got their last car repossessed, but they pull up in a Bentley in a suit. So automatically you think this person has money, right? But it's just the opposite. So I don't know, just to my point about judging a book by the cover, but the main point is it's not always a good approach to hire somebody that's got a lot of experience. And I think a lot of people would agree. It's a lot easier to train somebody the way you want them to perform in that role versus unlearning bad habits.
The dealership is a little tough, right? Because if someone's inside the dealership and they need help, that conversation is not recorded. Stuff that's done over the phone is good, but how many of those salespeople even listen to their own calls? I feel like not a lot of them. So I think this would be really good for someone that doesn't listen to their own calls or doesn't even want to. You could just ask AI, hey, what's wrong with my calls? So I think Gong's really good for that, but they don't have any actual agents that help you on the phone. They don't do any chat or voice assistants. They just help your team internally with AI, which I think is not bad.
I think Gong is a real deal. They've been around for a long time. I think they service a lot of enterprise clients, and what little bit of, I guess, insight I've had into them, they seem like a really good company. But you're going to pay for that. What's the pricing like?
They don't. Oh wait, no, we have a pricing tab. Hold on. Oh, it's a survey. One moment. 1 to 50. How can you help me? Prospecting, coaching. Oh, they're asking for my email. Let me just. All right, here's the pricing. Here we go.
Oh,
Nah, I'm not
and
allowed to know their pricing.
what's the message the average person has in their mind, right? That's planted immediately when you see that.
This is expensive. This is not the same price this guy had. I'm gonna get a certain custom price.
Normally, my bell goes off that you guys are mainly dealing with enterprise clients, not affordable for my small to medium sized business.
So if you have $1 billion, definitely go for Gong. Very good company. Thank you, Gong.
No, Dan, if you have $1 million, you can go for Gong. You don't need 1 billion. Come on.
Reddit, Google, Dropbox. Maybe some of them don't have 1 billion. I don't know which ones don't though.
But this is part of a discussion we've had in our journey, right? Let's make something that's very powerful but affordable. And the purpose of this wasn't to just be all about Leadr and Leadr's the best thing. And there is no absolute best software. Every software has its flaws. There's just not a one size fits all for sure. And that's why Gong I think they have a crazy good reputation. They've obviously built a very good product. I'm sure they're continuing to enhance it. It's just my frustration level has been as more of a small to medium sized business. It's just hard finding really good software that's what I would consider affordable. And a lot of what it boils down to in the business, right, is what are your profit margins like? And that varies, right? Some people are working off 2 or 3% profit margins, while a lot of tech companies, software companies, whatever, I'm dealing with 70 to maybe 90% profit margin. So all ends of the spectrum on what type of profit your business generates, and then how can you put that back in to reinvest into your business. So I'd like to think that I go for what I think, who built a really good product that's what I think is affordable for the average business, right? So
Now let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. So now we have Sybil. I don't know how you say it. They do the same thing. They listen to all your business data. You can do tasks, automate certain things in the CRM. They're going to give you summaries and coaching on all your calls. So this one's really cool because you actually do get pricing with them. Their website looks really good. I think they showcase their app pretty damn good, and you can actually see which sources they're going off of. So conversations in Gmail, Zoom, Google Meet, and 5 more. So if we go to pricing for a sec, there we go. Now we can actually get an idea of what they're charging. So this is a yearly. Monthly, you're looking at $30 a user on the low end. Unlimited call recordings and storage. But
They have no agents, but I can automatically feel a little bit better about a software that can put their pricing out there. And I don't have to fill out a form, jump through a bunch of hoops, and then have to get on a meeting where I feel like I'm going to be sold to. You and I've had this discussion too many times. I think a lot of customers, right, they want to do research their way and on their own timeline, right? Sometimes it's consuming content on YouTube. Sometimes it's just doing Google searches. Sometimes it's just spending time on somebody's website. And I don't know, you came across those stats, right? Like, what's some of those stats that the average business on their research before they actually make a decision?
it's 7 hours. Usually someone it takes 7 hours of content specifically. Who knows what kind of process someone goes through to buy their products or their services? Because before a year ago, I'd never heard of Gong, and they were already huge. So it sounds like a very niche problem for bigger companies. I never even heard of them until I was a competitor.
I think for what Sybil's offering and their price point, I think it's very reasonable for the average business. Not a bad option.
Not bad. It looks very clean. Other than they don't have actual voice and chat assistants to help you with the pipeline, I think it might be worth looking into. You can see it's very similar to Gong, connects to everything, can take actions for you. So, all right, next one we got is attention.com. So these guys, I think they're newer. They don't have like huge clients like the other examples that I just showed, but I have seen a lot of their ads lately and they're pretty good. They do the same thing, right? Like the other guys, they'll listen to all your calls. They'll have certain AI agents there to forecast, do coaching. You can ask your business questions. They don't have pricing on their website, but very similar products and solutions that they offer.
Well, we just had a client come from them, didn't we, last week?
Yeah, that's right. We actually had someone come from Assistable AI. They're using, I guess, their voice and chat agents inside of High Level, but they didn't really have a good experience with them. I was just on their website, I swear, 2 weeks ago, and they were still taking in new clients, but apparently there's a wait list. I think it also could be some people having issues with it. The person, at least that we were talking to, they had like pretty complex bot. I think these are more like Mickey Mouse type agents where they don't really do much because when he started doing a super long prompt and adding a bunch of tools, it was too complex for Assistable. So these guys don't do like coaching, but they do assistance for high level.
Now, Dan, why would you use the term Mickey Mouse when you didn't even really understand it up until a few days ago? And then even after I explained it to you, I'm not sure you really understand why I say that. And it really has no even deep meaning to it. It's just one of those crazy things that stuck, right? I said it one day, or somebody said it to me. I have no idea even where I picked it up, and then it just stuck.
So it got stuck to you, and now you're like, why is it sticking to you?
Yeah, why is it sticking to you? It's like a piece of gum to your shoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's good.
Well, you said it, so I said it. It's how do you say cooked? It's like, well, I'm saying it, so you're saying it. That's just what we say now.
So
Everything is cooked, whether it's good or bad.
I've got the cooked piece of gum on my shoe, and you've got the Mickey Mouse piece of gum on your shoe. All right, well, we traded gum, so we'll see if it sticks.
We're cooked, but we cooked in this podcast. So attention, they don't have any pricing on their website. We can't really compare that pricing. We got to assume it's somewhere like Gong. It's like some kind of custom pricing or enterprise level. But
Well, I'm just curious, what do they say about enterprise there on that tab?
let's see. Security compliance and then an about us. Bespoke sales AI for enterprise teams. Just a little bit
Yeah,
of
definitely
sales.
seems like they're going for more enterprise type clients.
Small businesses probably wouldn't get as much value from it compared to bigger companies that have like so many calls. If you have one salesperson, it's easier to manage that versus 10.
What you see in a lot of these pricing plans is you look at the first plan and it's like, oh, wow, that's really affordable. Then you look at it's just I don't want to call it a bait and switch, but it's almost useless, right? At that level. And to really get, even to begin to get the benefits out of the software, you got to get to at least the mid tier or the upper tier, or really see the functionality. And I guess it's like the game that's played in today's tech world, right? Just kind of get you hooked in and let you taste it. And then, well, if you really want to have it be functional inside your business, you're going to have to pay for this mid to top tier plan. So a
Ha
little
ha,
unfortunate.
small businesses. Ha ha, you're small. Get out of my funnel. Go to Sybil.
I probably can't mention the name on the podcast, but you know about that little DM I sent on LinkedIn, because I love to figure out how to get somebody's attention and rattle cages at the founder level. And basically, everybody would know the name if I threw it out, but I won't even hint at who it is. But I was frustrated because we're having a problem with a basic functionality, and their competitor has it working flawlessly. We've been using it, but their platform is offering some other benefits. So we really want to use their platform and maybe migrate some of our current users over to their platform. Ironically enough, we were on their platform, then we moved to the competitor's platform. And then we started to move back. I don't know what it was, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and then find out this basic function's not working. So we kept going back and forth in their support. I felt like just getting the runaround, and it was Discord. And I said, all right, I'm going to rattle some cages. So I messaged both the founders through LinkedIn. And what is the reply? Our platform is really for developers. We recommend you use, and I won't say the name, but basically their competitor that I said is working flawless. Well, I recommend you use them. And what did you say, Dan? I think you said that was an Elon Musk move, if I'm not mistaken. Something about Tesla. Was that you, or was that somebody else that made that comment about look like an Elon Musk move? Like maybe it was Hasib in our group, because basically Musk said, I don't know, he was getting some feedback negative on a Tesla, and he's like, well, don't own a Tesla then, Tesla, it's not for you. It's not the good car for you. So I just thought it was ironic that instead of taking some responsibility for the flaw, you kind of demean the request for help, because I sent it I thought it was very professional. Like I didn't belittle him or the product. And I don't know, just to send a message back like that, for me, it was just extreme arrogance that's not necessary, but it tells me a lot about who you are, and I guess the philosophy of your company. Like you don't want to be bothered with certain users. They're just meet your standard. And, with chagrin, I think we're very skilled, and we've got, very skilled developers. So to say that, use our platform like you're not qualified is basically what he was saying, was very far from the truth. But instead of seeking to understand, right, instead of just like engaging maybe in a productive professional conversation, he just kind of company and kind of like, look, man, go to competitor then, because that's for beginners, that's for novices like you. So very demeaning.
Gong, if you're listening, I really hope you change your philosophy and you put your pricing out there because we would love to see it. We don't want to feel like, we're a little peon. They need help too. So throw us a lifeline.
Yeah, how did big guys get to be big? They were small at one point too. It's like grow up, right? They kind of like, right, you forget your roots, you forget about those group of friends that were really there for you and were loyal. And I know these big companies just become Goliaths, and I don't know, they no longer seem to care about the little guy. So unfortunate. But the good news is that technology is becoming a lot more affordable, and there's a lot more newer players in the game offering affordable services to businesses, which I think makes it just a great time to be in business. A lot of people will focus on the negatives. I would just encourage people to focus on the solutions, not the problems. And, you were just talking about, easier. I think it's easier in general in today's world to succeed in business. Some people would say, oh, it's more competitive than ever. Maybe it's more complicated. It's very risky. Yeah, okay, well, you can say all those things, but I don't think there's anybody can dispute it's much lower cost of entry into business in today's world. And you don't need the capital that you used to. And in some cases, you don't need the experience because you've got technology to help you through that curve.
Yeah, seriously, we were just looking at another one, Cluely, which is like similar to the one we're going to talk about right now, but um, but other things are harder, right? It's like it's just bigger. It's like easier here, it's a lot harder over here, possibly. Depends, you know. Next one I want to look at is PitchMonster. So these guys, they do AI coaching too. I don't really know much about this one. Greg actually showed me this one. I think he engaged with them like how long ago is it? Like a year?
Oh, it was about 6 months ago, and I really don't have anything bad to say about them. Like for several months. I mean, I think the biggest kind of complaint I had, well, okay, the whole role play was a little bit robotic. You waited a pretty long time on the pause for the role play to come back. My users didn't really like that. I mean, like they were talking to a robot because of the pauses, because of the didn't sound natural. But I don't know. I mean, say from the service side, like we did with the founder, like just super guy, much. And I don't know. I loved him. I his concept. I think he was at that point a little bit early in some of his stuff. He was working on it, making it better. And it's just like anything though, what's the user adoption, right? Does the business actually get it into their operations? Do they get their people to like it? Because I've had this happen many times in my business. I fall in love with something, but I can't get my people to fall in love with it. So it's kind of useless. And then I feel like did you use it? Did you try it? Using it. And I just keep getting pushback. And it's like a tug of war. And at some point, I got to say, okay, let me just shelf it because I can't get my users to engage.
All right, so just going to the next one, we got Spinify here. So they actually do have their pricing. It's like some of the cheapest pricing I've seen. They do like a lot of gamification specifically though. So they do a little bit of coaching. You can actually see here at the bottom. They have a sidekick AI agent. So I think this just does a little bit of reporting for the internal team. I'll go to the homepage so you can see a little bit more, but they do have pricing there. And their main focus is gamification from what I can understand. So like if you're gonna do like spiff on daily dials, who did the most dials today, you get a prize or whatever, right? So they have gamification. They do a little bit of coaching based on the calls, and this personalized Spinify to your brand. So you can actually put the branding from your business in Spinify. And I remember like just when I used to work at a call center, we used to have like a on the floor and just everybody's numbers would be live updated. So that's always good to see too for morale. Like you can really see who's doing the most work today. And if you're number one, you always have a good feeling.
Yeah, I think I mean, sort of refer to it, and I've done this myself. Like sometimes it's grind, right? Like you gotta be on the grind and it's not all glory. And you just kind of have your head down and dial and, send text messages, whatever. It's all part of the grind. And it's like, how do you make this a little more fun? And that's what I was searching out. And I actually had a good experience with Spinify. Again, I think they're a good company. They offered great support. We had a great onboarding experience. Product worked well. Um, I said, let's build something ourselves and let's make it better and even more affordable.
Yeah, we hacked all these guys. That's why we are making this podcast. No, I'm kidding. We didn't want to hack all of them, just a couple of them. All right, just wrapping up on the last one here. Oh, we got two more actually. But just wrapping up, we got FSC. I'm not sure how to say it. These guys do a little bit of gamification too. They also do RM automation, which I think that's like the best thing ever. If you can at least automate the actions that are happening inside the CRM, that's like best scenario. Motion doesn't do this, but I'm gonna bring it up because it's relevant. Use Motion has like a AI note taker that you can put on Zoom, and if there's any takeaways to do at the end, they will actually just put them on your to-do list so that you don't forget to do that. So I think these guys actually do it in the CRM for you though. And that is a huge lifesaver, especially if you have a lazy sales team. Let's be honest. At some level, every salesperson is lazy. Automating that keeps your CRM so organized, I think.
Yeah, just one point to motion. You said puts it on your task, but I think what you meant to say is it puts it on your calendar, right? Because that's one of the things you really liked about it. Because you, like a lot of people, like to work solely from your calendar, and if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't get done. And I know you're still using it, and what little bit I looked into it, I thought it's a really good tool.
Yeah, exactly. Too. I forgot to mention that. That's literally the number one reason why I use it. Every task I put on there, it adds it to my calendar when there's free time. So that it makes sure that it's done. This though, I mean, a CRM like, hey, follow up with me in 2 weeks. It just auto creates the task for you to follow up in 2 weeks. So that's really cool too, especially if it can just be done. So it goes a little farther than motion. All right, last one we
Yeah,
got right
no,
here is go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like just genuine to the audience. Like you don't see any affiliate links here we're pushing, and it's not like we have a vested interest on any of these companies, and we're just kind of helping, I guess, share some of the learning curve we went through, some of the experience we've had, some of the research we've done to vet out some of these providers. And it's just our opinion, right? And some of it's kind of it's good, couple not quite so good, but all in all, I think, hopefully it saves the audience some time and trying to figure things out, because that for sure is the numbers. I think it's the biggest struggle for me right now as an entrepreneur. Like there's just too many options, and I just go down rabbit holes like, which one do I use? Which one do I pick? Which horse do I get on? And then you get on that horse, right? And you find out, oh, this is not the right horse. The support is horrible. It's got bugs in it. Um, it's not what I thought it was. Or somebody else pops up that's the next new shiny object, and you got to get off that horse. You got to tell your people you're getting off that horse. So now they have to go through a change again. And, that we live in this world with options. And again, I'll stick to what I said before. I think being in business is like the time in the world. Um, but every advantage can come the opposite side, which for me, there's too much tech. It's overwhelming on how it helps my business and which one do I pick to help it. But at some point, you just got to get on a horse and ride.
And if you're watching this and you're like, damn, actually, like, which one do I choose? This one right here, Centrical, go ahead and click that link below. Type in badass to save 20%. No, I'm kidding. We're actually not paid on any of these. That's just a joke. Centrical, I just found out about today. They do the same thing, coaching, micro learning, gamification. They look pretty cool too. Like I said, I just found out about them today. When I went to pricing earlier, yeah, it was just a form similar to like Attention, even Gong. So I think they do like more version, but who knows? Maybe they work with some smaller guys too. They have pretty big brands on there, but um, yeah, these guys do agents. None of them. They don't help you with AI voice or chat. It's just coaching. As if that's not like a thing it is. We do that too. But I wonder why. It makes you think.
Well, the coaching, the role play, and the gamification. And this was really like one of my biggest motivations to this stuff. And again, this isn't just up like you choose us, because again, the options that we showed, like, okay, you're going to find out that you're going to find even more options, right? This has been our experience so far, and some providers that we think are reputable and providing some of these services. But truly, where I got the most frustrated, especially gamification was like the most frustrating to me, because I knew I wanted to make my environment fun. I wanted to create some competitions more so than just some old fashioned whiteboard, or I don't know. There's so many like really ways you can do gamification, but I mainly the younger generation. I mean, 19 and 27 is my average employee, and they just live more in a virtual world, right? And I wanted to make the gamification virtual, and I thought, oh yeah, well, this is going to be easy. And it was like after really a month of searching and vetting, I'm like, why is this stuff like so expensive? Like, why is it geared to enterprise? And even the one provider, we signed up with them, and they're like, yeah, we created a very watered down version for small businesses. And we know it's not the best. We're working on making more enhancements for the package. Like, that's very basic. You don't get a lot of the features that you saw on the website. And I was like, well, that's pretty frustrating, because I was sold on everything that you had on your website. And then I get the small business plan, right? And it's just a very weak version. And I didn't have like literally the capabilities that I saw on the website that they can do. And they said, well, we just came out with this because we've been focused on the enterprise clients. And it was kind of the same thing with the role play. Like, I my search maybe 2 years ago and ran into Gong, and I talked to Gong, and I'm like, wow, that's just out of reach for me. So it's, as we talked earlier, it could just be really frustrating for the small to medium sized business to put some of this tech inside your business to help you grow, right? Scale. And how do you bring more employee satisfaction to your environment, right? Because nobody really puts a hard cost on turnover, but it is one of the most expensive costs. It's like CAC, right? Client cost of acquisition of a client. And it's, but people don't calculate turnover costs. And how do you keep employees? Well, for one thing, been many studies done on if an employee is really trained on their role, huge job satisfaction, huge retention rates. Nobody wants to be in a role that they feel like they don't really know. It's just awkward. They can never get comfortable. And that also leads to not high, it's not a high performer. So the business isn't happy with them. They're kind of frustrated. And you're just dealing with turnover. And then how do you make the grind, right? Which, like I said, some days it truly is a grind. How do you make that a little more fun? And gamification, competitions, rewards, things like that. And why isn't this stuff more available to smaller businesses? That was my question.
Yeah, like Greg said, I mean, it's more accessible than ever right now, too. So all these guys at the end of the day, they're just using MCP and they're making it look nice and accessible for, the person. That's why in the next Badass podcast, we're going to talk about MCP, kind of how we even use that internally for Leadr and just to automate a lot of our stuff. So if you guys want access to any of these, I'll leave the affiliate links below. I'm just kidding. There's no affiliate links. I'm serious. We're not paid. We're not making money off this.
And Dan, thanks for bringing me up to speed lately. I mean, I met you, you taught me how to spell AI, which I appreciate. And just like, what is a month or so ago, you taught me how to spell MCP. So, I mean, you're bringing me up to speed on all this latest technology. So thank you, Dan. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. If you guys are watching this and you want to thank me too, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell because it's free and it really helps me. I'll see you guys on the next one.